Okay, let's go. Juahn is from cohort from Miami. He's also entrepreneur. You know, there's not that many entrepreneurs in our school.
I did an Ironman in 2019, a full Ironman.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I did half.
Thank you.
I did half in Miami.
My dream, I think it's connected with the purpose of helping those who do not have the possibility of having an adequate house or having access to housing.
Can you tell us a little bit story? Where are you from? Why are you in a business? A little bit background about yourself.
Sure, thank you, Roman. It's a pleasure to be here. For us, the purpose, and I think the pitch gave that sense of impact, because the purpose that we have in our startup for us is very personal. It has a lot of impact, and it's around how do you help people access homes easier? How do you facilitate the access and the affordability of homes? And the thing is that today there are more than 150 million people in Latin America that don't have adequate housing. So that for us is the pitch, and just like that's the purpose that drives the story. And connecting with that purpose, we started the business because we experienced, and personally with my wife, we experienced a very complicated situation when buying a home for our daughter. She was going to be born, and we wanted to invest in a property for her, like savings for the future. And it was very complicated, and we suffered a lot during that process. And this was an affordable house that we planned to invest in and rent and resell. And we thought that if we had that problem with the connections and the people we knew at different financial institutions, what would happen to people who didn't have those opportunities? And immediately this was the middle of the pandemic, and when we saw the news and later a lot of people that didn't have the opportunity to have a house, like in the streets and with a difficult situation, we said, okay, this is a problem worth solving. And when we started to investigate a little bit more around the problem, we saw that it was a huge problem. So it was, I think, a big and massive problem that could be solved through technology and passion. So we just said, let's do this.
Wow. And you're from Colombia.
I'm from Colombia.
You start business in Colombia, and we'll talk a little bit later about you try to extend for bigger market. Yeah. Before you start this startup, you work in this industry, or you came to industry only because of the startup?
So I think it was a very interesting story, because there were pieces that were connecting much way, a long time before that we started the company. So the first part was probably 12 years ago. I had graduated from my undergrad. I was returning to Colombia, and I started working in a small family real estate developer company.
But you graduated in IT?
No, I graduated in economics.
Economics, okay.
Economics. So my background was more on the data side, and it's how do you profit from data? How do you predict with data? And then I returned, for many circumstances, I returned back to Colombia, and I started working with my family company, and they taught me a lot. I learned a lot around the real estate business. I stopped working with them. I started a first startup that was around sustainable construction, so I learned around real estate and everything around real estate. And then I moved to technology in 2012. And in 2012, I started my second startup around cloud computing solutions. So then I deep dived into tech solutions, collaboration solutions, digital signature solutions in Latin America. So we became Google partner, we became DocuSign partners for Colombia and Latin America. And then just the pieces started falling together, because it was the knowledge in real estate that I started when I went back to Colombia, then the knowledge around tech, and finally when we saw the opportunity and the need to connect all these pieces together, we built up Koggi.
Yeah. You started, right? People who wants to be in a business, even in our schools, they dream to start something like their own company. How easy is that? And is this results coming in one night, or it takes some time? You need passion, you need support. How this works in real life?
Yeah.
everyone thinks it's easy start startup, and tomorrow you will raise $1 billion and everything will be great.
Yeah, so I think like you hear a lot of the stories in the news, like, oh yeah, but you see like the iceberg, right? You see just like a little bit of the news, but you don't see what happened before then. And I'm a fan of like long endurance sports, and that's like I think the same example. Like people see probably just like the end of the race, and it's like, oh, this is very easy, but they don't take into account many things. It's like, when you start, you don't take into account two things. Like the race is a marathon, or it's a long triathlon.
Long run.
So there's a long run first, but there's also something before the race, and before the race is all the training before the race. So if you want to do a full Ironman, you have to train many months ahead, many hours each day.
10K, half marathon,
yes,
Ironman.
And then you have to build all that. And there are many days that is like amazing. You're enjoying what you're doing, but there are many others where just like getting out of bed is very complicated. It's like raining, you're tired, you don't want to do it. And that's where I think the purpose, it's really important, because if the purpose is probably, oh, I'm going to do this because I am going to more superficial purpose, or just like something that doesn't have that importance for you, you'll probably quit quickly or fairly easy. You have to be committed with your purpose. You have to be convinced of what you're doing. And then I think you also have to be, this is a team effort. This is not an individual sport. This is a team effort. And you need to have a lot of people in that crew. So even like very individual sports like cycling, you believe that cycling is an individual sport, is really a team sport where you have a crew and everybody's supporting the crew with the common purpose. And that's really important, because there are going to be moments where like the road gets really steep and you need that crew to help you get over the mountaintop, right?
It's true. What do you do to recharge your batteries? Like when you tired, you're ready to give up.
So I use like this circles like of recharge. So I believe it's like there's some individual things that you can only do by yourself. Then there's some like very close, intimate people or things that you can do to recharge, and then there are like a larger audience, right? So I'm gonna go from beginning, from the more intimate. So then there's like meditation.
You meditate?
Meditate, yes. Like sports, meditation / prayer. Like
what kind of sport?
So I like to do swim, run, bicycle.
We run in the morning, not together, but I think you will start earlier. I started later a little bit, but I saw when you left, I think, the door. Yeah, in the morning. Swimming, running,
and bicycle.
Like triathlon.
Triathlon.
And you did some distance.
Yes, I've done a couple of distances, like short, middle, and long distance triathlon.
You did Ironman?
I did an Ironman in 2019, a full Ironman.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I did half.
Thank you.
I did half in Miami.
Beautiful.
It actually was a lot of people from South America.
Probably we were there together. You didn't know that, but because
You did?
I've done when they did it, because I think they canceled it now. I did like.
No Miami anymore?
No,
it was
Miami
October 2018, I think.
I was in Miami 2018.
Really?
So we were there, man. It's like
wow, I have my t-shirt. I will let you know. It's cool.
Yes.
You see how small world.
The world is very small.
But it was very windy and was very waves in a bay. It was so difficult distance. Cool.
So it's like recharging all around, like sports. And then you have like close friends, family members that can also like being with them, just like recharge, like the people that you know and you are very positive, or they're like there for you, or you can have a bad day, you can be very open with them. And then you also have like a round circle, and I think like, for example, the Kellogg community, the friends that you meet here, like Roman in classes, like they recharge you, they inspire you with the courage of what your story is too. So that's a great inspiration.
Vice versa, for sure. I also enjoy this program too. The most important is networking. Class is always important, but people which around it's great. And the biggest circle?
So the biggest circle, I believe, it's like things that, or like environments where you can be that can recharge you very powerfully, right? So
for people, that's what you said, right? It's the biggest one.
But not only people, but like environment. So for example, after this week of class, I'm taking tomorrow a little bit off just like to hang around campus, an inspiring view of the building, and like all like reading like what the people that have the benefactors that have donated for Northwestern to the university it is. When you read their story, when you read about them, you get inspired because they're many incredible people, very courageous, and they're like, okay, we're going to do things. They were not easy, but they did it, and so we are standing like in the shoulder of giants, and we have like the gratitude of being here. So like a little bit of like the ability to respond to that calling, and just like, okay, let's do the difficult but also important things.
Did you have that information that Kellogg, one of the most famous because of marketing, it was a key for you to choose Kellogg? So what was location as well, maybe? Why you choose Kellogg?
So for us, the Kellogg campus was the Kellogg decision had a lot of like things that just like the pieces like fell together perfectly and just like combined. So personally for me, it was, of course, it was strong in the marketing. And I think more beyond marketing was a strategy. It was finance, it was operations, and it was the whole 360 of the organization. And when I started learning about the Kellogg network and how they leveraged the network around the world like no other business school, I thought that this was even more interesting than just like having a specific knowledge from a specific business school. It was like you'll be able to have knowledge of people around the world, literally, and the best of the best, right? So I think this is one of the reasons. The second was, of course, the campus. For me, it was very convenient to fly to Miami once a month instead of having like flying 2 times to Chicago or to other campuses around the U.S. It was a very, very convenient destination. Miami, just like, and very, very connected with Latin America. And third, there were also, I think the family reasons for me that I have a special relationship with my grandmother, and she's still alive and she lives in Miami. So, so it was like just like the cherry on the top. It's like I would have chosen Kellogg probably if it was in another location, but when it was just like, okay, it's 1 time a month, it has the global network, it has the strong leadership, marketing, strategy, and other areas as a strength in Kellogg. And then it was in Miami. It was like, okay, this is a no-brainer.
That's so cool. Do you have any big dream?
Yes. So
tell me about big dream.
My dream, I think it's connected with the purpose of helping those who do not have the possibility of having an adequate house or having access to housing solved. And I think this is it's a 1.5 billion problem, but not in money. It's 1.5 billion people today that don't have access to adequate housing in the world. And that's because there are many reasons, but one of them is because of the access to capital, the complicated process. It's completely fragmented. And through technology, how can we solve one of the biggest challenges that people are facing in the world, right? So yes, that's the dreams, like helping people that don't have that access, don't have that possibility, to help them. So for us, it's going to be like, okay, let's solve this challenge, and it's as big or as important as solving like climate change.
Nice. That's how interesting. We have a lot of in common. Like we did Ironman, same Ironman Miami. Books, one of my favorite, Principles, De Rario, and second book, Sapiens, which I didn't finish, but I will. Juan, thank you so much again for your time.
Thank you, Roman. It's a pleasure.
I appreciate a lot that you spent time for this my crazy project, new project. Second, I want to say thank you for support Ukraine. Today is Independence Day of Ukraine. And third, of course, for coffee. It was very, for me, it was a huge surprise when you bring this coffee. You said some story.
Yes, the coffee is also very special because I want to share it because it has a message in the story in a word that's courage, and I think it's very courageous what Ukraine and all the people in Ukraine are doing right now, and also it means what you did is like coming to the U.S. and building a very successful startup, now being in Kellogg, that requires a lot of courage. So you're very inspiring, and probably I hope to move with a family to the US one day. So I'll take that inspiration on.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. If you will come to Chicago, always welcome. Call me, text me. We'll happy to go with you for dinner.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.